Good morning, sir. Do you want to log on real quick to see if everything's up and running? You see me? You see my little dance? Can you hear me? Even without this, can you hear me? Is it coming through? What's that? Okay, sounds good. Thanks. About 60 seconds. You did one of those. Yeah, 60 seconds and do one of those. See? Back in 1991.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
I didn't know you said so.
So it's broadcast now.
What's that?
It's live now.
Yeah, it's like.
Hey, how you doing? Some more.
So I'm really good. I can see it.
I can.
Woo! Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Online world, I want to welcome you this week.
Fox
Hope you had a good night's sleep and all that. You know, there's a lot of things going on in this world right now, and as I walk around in business and look at our landscape, I see a lot of people. I meet a lot of wise people, and I want to stay positive this morning because it's one thing to meet a lot of people and they say this isn't working and that isn't working and that isn't working, and I want to put that in the category of wise because there's things that you learn from a lot of people to move you forward. There are also things that you learn what to do and what not to do, right? And a lot of people know what not to do. And from that, that's a lot of experience they've drawn on. So when we come from the perspective of, when we look at them, you know, and we listen to a lot of what's going on, you got to put those in those two buckets. The information that you're getting, is it going to help propel you forward, right? Or is it information that's saying, these are the pitfalls in business? And then asking more questions and finding out where to get that information from to make sure that information is accurate. Because sometimes the pitfalls is actually a place where you actually want to go, but let's just keep it as simple as possible and keep it positive, right? There's a lot of wise people out there, right? One thing, Saturday morning, everybody stretch out a little bit, wake up. Because I want to hit this topic. When we go to war, you know, our nation's been at war for about a decade now. One thing that the enemy does, one of the first things they focus on is how to tire you up. What do you mean, Shell? One of the number one tactics is sleep deprivation. Now take a look around as some of you are waking up, online world, and you're sitting on your bed right now watching this. You probably should move over to a desk, right? Is to wake you up. Because you hear Paulie Jones saying schedule for success. How much time are you actually scheduling for sleep? Because this is what happens when you go to war. It's like, what do you mean? I'm working hard, and you know, I'm putting in these hours and everything. When you're deprived of sleep and you're deprived of energy, you start making decisions that you normally wouldn't make. You make mistakes that you normally wouldn't make. Your judgment isn't as high or as accurate or as whatever it is that you want it to be at any given time. That's what the enemy counts on, is for you to make that mistake. Because it's that well-executed plan that gets you where you want to go, right? So as you think about that, I just want to take a step back and just go. Because right now we're talking about business and all that. There's only one thing that's holding you back from your successful business, and that's you. Okay? So if you are the only person that's holding you back from your successful business, and you can't make decisions, proper decisions to move you forward, I want you to think about that real quick. And as you think about that, think about this story I'm going to share with you. All right? This young man walks up to me, and we sit down in a meeting. And he goes, Chell, I said, what's that? I don't think I'm going to be successful. I was like, well, why do you say that? He goes, well, I don't know how to be successful. And he's sitting there and he's really tired, right? Extremely tired, stressed out, right? Some of you might be thinking like, oh, I wanted to talk about me. No, this story has nothing to do with anybody. There's nobody in here, all right? So if you feel that way, maybe you feel like that guy, right? Sit down, and he's extremely tired. And he's like, I don't know if I can be successful. Like, first of all, why in the world are you so tired? It's like, I'm working all these hours. And I want you to remember this story throughout this training this morning. I'm working all these hours. I can't seem to make ends meet, right? And nothing seems to be going right. As he's about to fall asleep, literally, in our meeting. So I asked the next question, like, well, I don't understand your statement about I don't think I'm going to be successful. Because what do you want to be successful at? And he's like, well, what do you mean by that? Like, well, if you want to be successful at walking around like a zombie, you're very successful right now. He's like, is that what you want to be successful at? He goes, well, no, I want to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Well, you know what? You're not being successful at being bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. How do you be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go out work each day? Yeah, he goes, why do you get more sleep? Well, how do you go about getting more sleep? Right? So he goes, well, what else is, well, how do you define success? It's like, well, I'm not really making the money that I want to make. Okay. What are you doing in your time to make more money? Well, I'm working this job and, you know, I get overtime, but still it isn't enough. It's like, why do you have to stay in that job? And is that job what you define as success? I want to get you to start thinking this morning, and I want you to remember the story, all right? There isn't one answer for anything this person is going through, all right? And some of us, you know, if not all of us, at one time in our life, had these questions going in our mind. We might not have verbalized like this person, but this person, because it was so tired, you know, I actually appreciate the honesty, right? It just came out. Because a lot of times people keep those questions inside their mind, but that's just as loud as if you're speaking out loud, if you're repeating those same thoughts inside your mind. All right? So think about that. Because this is what it kind of looks like. When a person takes a look at where next to go, all right? I trained earlier on this that people don't lack time, they lack direction. Okay? Oh, we don't have a whiteboard, do we? That's right. All right, I want you to write this down. Distance, speed, time. Okay, those three elements, right? If you have your distance and you know how fast you're going, you know approximately how long it's going to take you to get there, all right? Now I want you to not necessarily cross out the word speed, but right underneath it, or right next to it, slash, I want you to write belief. How much you believe in your business or what you're doing, right, is going to accelerate your speed. People start moving that much quicker. And here's where the confusion comes in when you start getting tired and you're depriving yourself of rest. Not necessarily just hours of sleep, but mental relaxation, right? You lack direction. If you lack direction in what you're doing, people who are lost run faster in one single direction, even if they have no idea which direction they're running. And they get more lost. That's how people, you know how people get into the woods and you hear these stories and they end up right next to a highway and they're found dead. They're so scared they'll run in one direction, ignore everything else, and fear will take over and will run faster and faster and faster. And because that person thinks they're running faster and working harder, they're actually getting somewhere, but ignoring the signs that are around them to give them direction. Because had that person stopped for 1 second and just really listened, understand that just a few feet that way was a busy road where cars were going back and forth. True story. Happens often, actually. Snowstorms. People don't see where they're going. They get scared. They'll run in one direction. It's always people going right off a cliff. This is why we're here at training this morning. This is why we stay in tune with our business and listen to people like Paulie Jones, like William Lockwood, right? To get direction in what we're doing instead of running and running and running and ignoring information that's going to move us forward. Does everyone get me this one? Mm-hmm. Huh? Get a little bit kind of thinking? Mm-hmm. So I want you to think about that initial story that I heard, because I was just sitting there and I was just listening to that person as they're going through one reason after another reason after another reason after another reason why it was tough for them to be successful. Because strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. We'll go back to that knowledge and wisdom again and break that. Strength doesn't come from what you can do. All right? That's your wisdom. That's what you know right now. If you take your knowledge and wisdom right now, right? This person that I'm talking about, that I met with, is, wow, is extremely talented. I don't want you to think about someone that's just not doing anything with their life. They were extremely talented. And from a lot of definitions, they were successful, right? And they were missing elements of our business. It was just budgeting. It was like, really, we tweaked a couple things with budgeting. This person made like 6 figures a month. You're not talking about, I'm not talking about $3,000 to $4,000 a month. It just so happens his overhead was 6 figures a month too, right? And it just took a couple things, tweaking here, financing there, refinancing that, and then the guy is golden, right? And that's what we end up getting to. But strength doesn't come from what you can do. But a couple of weeks ago when I trained, I asked you, what are your strengths today? What are you really good at? Because a lot of times we discount ourselves from what we are gifted and talented at, right? This guy was brilliant at finance. And because he was super tired, he couldn't see the fact that it was a couple of things that could make his life better. His judgment wasn't there. He wasn't seeing his business the way he sees everybody else's business, because everybody else was successful around him. The people that he consulted. What do you know right now? What are your gifts right now that you can draw strength from? Because when you overcome, right, the things that you thought you couldn't do, you start going out and acquiring more knowledge to move you forward. That's all it is you're going to acquire more knowledge, because things you can't do. Like, can everybody here think of one thing they can't do that they wish they could do? What is that? Is anyone open about that? Can anybody open about that? All right. For me, I want to be, one of those things here is be more proficient at Spanish. I want to speak Spanish as well as I speak English, right? So every night I have it on my schedule to go through about 20 words, right? Right now I'm at 20 words because I started, every night I go through about 10 words, right? This is the second night, so I'm going through 20, so now 20 words. So but tonight, I'll memorize 20 words. Tomorrow night, I'll memorize 30, right? At the end of the week, I'll know 50, right? Because if you remember, most of us in any language know about 3,500 words. That's your vocabulary. That's your whole list of vocabulary. You know about 3,500 words inside your mind, right? So you go through 1,000 words. That's what the little flashcards I have, right? You're gonna have about 1,000 words. Now it's just you're getting down to speak with people. I also have it in my schedule to call up Paulie's wife, Nancy Jones, who actually speaks Spanish. That was her native tongue. And we're going to just talk in Spanish. So I get to be goofy in Spanish all the time, just to become proficient, right? What is it? What do you want to get better at, right? And that's what I'm asking you today. That's what I'm asking you today. Because money is, if you hear Paulie speak and anybody else speak who has made money, money comes after you've acquired the skill set. It comes after you've acquired the skill set. And when you start acquiring these skill sets and entering these new things, you start feeling more confident about yourself that, hey, I'm not just an old puppy that can't learn new tricks, right? And we can learn new things every single day. So what is it that you want to be better at? You can't just say, I want to make more money. Because I'm going to ask you, what thing is it that you want to be better at? What things are you good at right now so we know what strengths to draw off of, and what do you want to be better at? Because perception. You know that thing where sometimes, let's say you blink an eye and you're an employee, blink again, and then you become a business owner? How quickly can your perception change on a regular basis? At home, wake up. I'm telling you, if you're on your mattress, you better get off into that house. Because I found this really funny. Fairness. When you screw up, spread the blame around to others equally. Perception. Right? As a business owner, for the longest time, if you've been an employee up to this point and this is your first time running a business, or if you've been running a business for forever, but if this is the first time you've been employed for a long time, your mindset still comes from employee mindset, right? You get frustrated why tomorrow you can't see where this company is going, right? It's part of the business owner's job to share with you the vision. But your job, is just your job description. Employers, business owners, when your employees get frustrated because they can't see tomorrow, that's because the only thing you're focused on when it comes to them is for them to see their job for what it is. Happy companies, happy employees, happy business owners, in their business, they have some sort of department, whether it's human resources or whatever. Some companies even call it a dream department. When business owners recognize that most employees, especially in this day and age, the job is only transition. You're only working a job. for a little while. Because if you think about it, right? We know that $30,000 a year isn't enough, right? Can everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
So if you're a business owner and you're paying your employee only $30,000 a year, you know that isn't enough, and you make it an effort to keep that person at $30,000 a year, and you know that isn't enough, who's more insane? The person that's in that position that is getting frustrated, or the boss that's wondering why he can't hold on to employees? Think about that for a second. Let's talk about fairness then. Let's talk about fairness. All right. So from the employee mindset, right, you're wondering, man, this job isn't enough. How come I'm not given more? How come I can't take on all these responsibilities? Because the moment you start as an employee taking on more responsibilities inside of a company, that's when you get paid more. Outside of your job description. A lot of times employees show up and they have this job description that's a few pages long, right? And it goes down a laundry list of other things. One of the things is don't show up late. When you show up late and you're asking for more money, it doesn't work, right? Right? And if you do everything on that job description, you're doing great. That's wonderful. You get to keep your job. But if you want to get paid more, you do stuff on other people's job descriptions, right? Can everybody see what I'm saying? Now let's flip the script real quick for perception. Everybody just blink real quick. All right, now you're business owners, right? Let's talk about fairness. As a business owner, things are constantly changing for you. New position inside your company, you find out there's new items that need to be taken care of every single day. It seems that you need to take care of more than your fair share. All the time. All the time. And if you take the perspective of the fact that I need to be paid more because I'm doing all these things, you got something else coming. You're going to become bitter and angry at your employees, right? I'm already looking at you guys as multimillionaires, and I don't want to lose you here. You're like, well, in our business, we don't have employees and everything. You know, it's like, okay, when you have a stadium filled with people, you can't talk to all those people by yourself. You're going to have employees. And then you also run a business where you want everybody to be free. Where it's going to drive you crazy is the same way that Paulie Jones shared with me in the same business. He goes, I run this business. I tell everybody they can be free. Yet I have employees who see me make multi-million dollars in this very industry and do not want to do this business. So you need to come to the understanding that there are people that will say no and work next to you all the time. But that doesn't mean their skill sets aren't necessary. So looking at it from a fair point of view, being the business owner, you're going to need to do a lot more than what you think you need to do right now because things are ever changing, right? So if you have that, and you're looking at fairness, what do you have to do? And I'm buying time right now because in my mind there's a point I want to drive home. And I'm thinking about that point right now because it's kind of important. You're supposed to laugh because that helps me buy time. What I'm trying to communicate here is that as a business owner, we talk about favor, right? And people ask all the time, and they complain of how come the business owner makes so much money, so much more money than the employee, right? It's not because the employer doesn't want to pay the employee more. It's because favor isn't fair. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Isn't that right? If it's not fair when employees don't show up on time for the business owner to pull out of his or her own pocket to pay somebody else to show up to fill that lapse in time, is it fair to the business owner? Probably not, right? When employees show up and they don't do all the things that's on the job description that they said they promised they'd do because they really need this job to take care of the family, and the business owner needs to show up and take care of those items, is it fair? Right? When the economy just shifts all of a sudden and you're used to making 6, 7, 8, 9 figures a year down to not taking a pay and making sure all of your employees are paid. It's just that this company moves forward because you have the vision of tomorrow. and everyone else is going, oh man, it's so tough for me. It's not tough for the business owner, but you don't say anything, even though you're not paying yourself. Is that fair? So then when blessings come, right, and employers, you know, or business owners are paid so many times more, let me ask that question, all right? Everything seems to balance out. Everything seems to balance out. And I just want to have this different perception because I want to pull you out of this side where as an employee, constantly, right, where constantly there are excuses why this platform that you're working on isn't providing all the things for you to make it fair. But when you're a business owner, which you are today, where your mindset and your perspective needs to be in order for you to counter all these things, for you not to be bitter, right? For you not to become the point where every single day you think like, oh man, because of that breakthrough, I need to constantly like be this fierce warrior that's gonna just break through this wall, right? Right? Because I've said it many times before, those closed fists, without open hands, you can't receive your blessings, right? You can't keep running through walls and not stop and rest for a couple seconds to see what blessings have been spilled on you over and over. So what do you have to do in this business? Why do you come to training? It's a couple of things. Talk to people. It seems that we've forgotten how to talk to people. As I walk around, I see people walk around zombie-like, you know, not acknowledging each other when we pass each other out on the street, asking each other, how are you doing, and genuinely stopping to listen to the person's response rather than just automation. How are you doing? Good. So we hear mom, something, you know? There isn't really any dialogue that we have in a day, right? And I'm not talking about thousands of people you need to establish communication with. In this business, it's really 3 people. It's just 3 people that you really need to have genuine conversation with. And if you build on, and if you're not good at that, get good at it. At one time I was terrible at talking to people. And you know, and it wasn't until, honest to goodness, until I met William Lockett and met him for the first time, that I realized that I wasn't that good at talking to people. Because I really saw myself in William Lockett. When you put William Lockett and I in front of each other, and we're about the most terrible people at conversing with each other. I'm like, hi, what's your name? And I believe his first thing was like, uh-huh. I don't think he really heard what I said, so I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm Chow. Like, and then he finally looked up, it's like, oh, I'm William, you know? And when you're in that just work mode, right? Work mode, and you're just only thinking about what you're doing, it's like all these people are walking around you, you know? Actually wanting to get to know you, wanting to get to know what you're all about, what you do, because they have things they want in their lives too, and they don't have it yet. They don't even know where to get it. They lack direction. And if you're a person that knows which direction to go, and you're not speaking up, you got a whole bunch of lost people running around there, right? So going back, you know, I wasn't always good until I sat down with William Lockett and I realized, like, you know what? I'm a lot like William Lockett when it comes up, and this was like, what, three and a half years ago, right? I thought I was good at talking to people, right? And then I was like, because Laura, my wife, would look at me and goes, man, when you're in work mode, like, there's really no conversation. And I saw William, he was in work mode. He was in work mode. We were at this work convention, and like his mind was going everywhere. I was talking to him. He was in work mode. I was like, wow. It's like, I get it now. You know, and usually I'm like, yeah, I'm in work mode. I'm listening. I'm listening. No, I'm not.
You're welcome.
No, I'm not. Yeah, you know, it's all good. So we forget how to talk to people, right? And for those who are new, I like to go over this once in a while. Because you like to think you know how to talk to people. You think you know how to do something until you get into an arena where you really have to do something. You go, oh, I guess I'm not that good at it, right? Right? You don't walk into a sporting event, you know, and say, let's talk about money. Even though that's one of the items you talk about, right? You won't get too far. You're not going to walk into a birthday and start talking about money and business right away, right? But you can talk about family. Right? That's one of the items there, family, right? You wouldn't talk about work yet. But, you know, one of the things that had I remembered at the time, you know, if I walked up to somebody who was in work mode, like William Lockett, I could talk about work. hey, you seem to be thinking about something. Like, I didn't call him Brother Lockett at the time. I just called him, hey, I didn't know what his name was, right? When I was William, it's like, hey, William, what are you thinking about? You seem so pensive. And he probably would have shared some of the things that he was thinking about work, right? You probably shared it. I'm sitting there, I can sit there and talk about my baby or 10 babies. He's like, this crazy guy coming and talking about 10 kids. Why in the world would I talk about 10 kids, this guy? I'm in work mode right now, right? I'm like, you seem pensive. What are you thinking about work? Then you start talking about work, right? And usually when it comes to work, you know, we switch over to other conversations. If you're out there at a sporting event, recreation, obviously this person likes the sporting event that you're at, right? You can shift around these different areas of people's lives. Then it comes up. It always comes up. Time and money. I'm telling you, talk about time. Because most people don't like talking about money. I don't know why. I don't know why. I already shared with you. Like, in my culture, we talk about money all the time, right? But in the American culture, it's like you talk about money, it's like, like you don't really talk about. So talk about time. Talk about time. What do you mean, John? You know? I'll just throw up a scenario just because I was using it, right? It's like Brother William Lockett. It's like you seem to be pensive. You're thinking about work, right? And you think about work. It's like different areas of work. It's like, you know what? I'm thinking of different ways to maximize, you know, the profitability of my company. Like I have so many employees, whatever, or whatnot, and I'm trying to figure out how I can squeeze in more hours so that they can work without, you know, going into a deficit on this side. Maybe talk about that, right? It's like, oh, so like you're lacking time in your business. All right, so time, productivity, start talking about money. You know what? I'm not talking about him about his money, right? Because nobody likes to talk about themselves for whatever reason about money. I do. So I'll talk about money. He's like, you know what? It's like, well, have you looked at their job description yet? Are they doing everything on their job description? And if not, why not? Are the people you're hiring, do they have the necessary skill sets to do everything on the job description? Because if they're not doing everything and you're thinking like they don't want to do it, well, a lot of people don't know how to do it. And those are the areas we need to train on. And then now you don't actually need more hours to give more hours. They just need to be more productive. That's number one thing. That's the number one thing in like every single company, right? You have your vision, your goals of where you want to go, and then you have the employees that need to work their areas in order to reach that goal. But a lot of them, it's like business owners, we fail at training. Okay? That's why we have Saturdays every single week, right? We fail at that. That's why people don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, you don't know what you don't know, so you don't know what to ask. Right? You need to know the areas of your business that you can do that. So we start talking about things like, oh, wow, this conversation is kind of nice. John, I kind of like you. Yeah, right? It's like, let's talk a little more now, right? We have more to talk about. So Brother Lockett. So when I looked at that, you know, I saw that maybe that'll help you with your business. Maybe go back and look at your job descriptions and then sit the people down individually and say, and honestly, it's like, hey, do you really know how to do this? And they might say, no, that's why I keep making mistakes and keep giving violations on it. I just don't know. You know, if you're training me on this and I know, then hold me accountable. I just don't know. And you keep on yelling for it. You know? And then you're unhappy, I'm unhappy, and then we lose more time because we're all unhappy. Right? That's how I make more money. He goes, oh, okay, you're talking about money. He goes, but speaking of time, you know, of all these things, and if you need more money to expand, you know, I have this great business, right? This great marketing business. 2-step system. Right? And I do this on top of my other businesses. And it makes more money. It's passive income. Like, do you have any more time to build another business? He goes, early, but do you have another time for a system that actually makes money for you? You know, after you step away and do it, it's like, oh yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Let's set up a meeting and talk about that. And then you skew into those other areas to talk about this business, right? And then you invite. That's all it is. It's inviting. We forget how to talk to people. So today, if you look in the mirror and say, you know what? Maybe I'm not that good at talking to people. I want you to get good at that. And if people aren't good at talking about themselves and sharing things, because a lot of people, maybe it's a warm market, maybe it's cold market, learn to talk about yourself in a positive manner, right? In a positive manner. Your family, right? Do you hear me talking about Evan? Right? Believe me, I have some hard times, right? They get tiring. But But when I talk about 20 diapers, I'm going, man, I changed 20 diapers yesterday. I think it's hilarious that his diaper bags are as big as he is. Like in a day, you know, you put it up next to him, like, how, wow, that's a lot of waste. You know, that's interesting. You hear me talk about my wife, right? There's no room for somebody else. Because when you talk about positive things about your life, people start thinking about the positive things about their life, and it's okay to talk about. It seems like our society has wrapped themselves around it. It's only okay to share the negative things, but the positive things, it's not okay. Right? Because it seems like you're rubbing it in, right? But that's not the case. That's not the case. I talk about positive things, people start thinking about positive things in their life. About work. Talk about how great work is going for you. Is it going great for you? Right? Think about the positive things on that side, you know? And then you show the plan, right? You show the plan. How do you do that? Well, there's some people who say, I just don't have any time. We'll jump on a conference call. There's a 24-hour hotline that 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central doesn't work. 24-hour hotline. You guys know that? Mm-hmm. If you don't, call your upline. If you haven't called your upline, call them again. Tuesday nights, business presentations. If you're not good at talking to people, well, there's a lot of people who have put the time into practice to learn how to talk to people and present this business plan. Tuesday. Your upline. Whoever brought you into the business. Call them up. And afterwards, follow up with people. Follow up with them. Because sometimes when I ask, it's like, hey, so what did that person think of, you know, did they join? Or did you follow up after the conference call? It's like, no, I didn't really call up. And this is the honest answer. This is my honest answer in the very beginning. I was scared to know the answer. So then I said, in the beginning, I was kind of timid at calling people up and following up because I didn't want to hear the answer, you know, of why they didn't want to join the business. Because a lot of times I would take it personally, right? In the beginning of this business. Now I'm going to talk, this is call everybody. In the beginning, I was like, so are you timid? I'm calling him up. He goes, yeah, I am, because I never really talked business to this person before, you know, and I know the guy on the line. I was like, all right, well, you know, I have my phone. How about we three-way and call that person and see what's going on? I was like, oh, you do that with me? I was like, of course. Of course. Sometimes the people, you know, following up and when they get scared, remember, they forget that they actually have resources around that will actually help them out. So, as a business owner, you follow up with people that come to your business, but you also follow up with the people that are bringing people to the business presentations or the conference calls or whatnot. So that's it with a business. So I want you to think about that. So I want you to think about that initial story I told you about that gentleman. I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted the same thing with him. First thing I said is go home and get some sleep. You know the whole thing of sleep on it? You're not supposed to make any decisions when you're extremely tired and emotional. Man, you leave with some really off the wall decisions when you're tired and emotional, especially in business. But like sleep on it. He slept on it and called him the next day. He's like, man, I forgot how to talk to people. It's like I got really, really, really good at just making money, and I forgot about everything else. I stopped talking to my accountants. I stopped talking to my business mentors. I stopped talking to my employees. The only thing I saw was my vision, and everybody else needed to do their part. And then I got tired of taking care of everything myself when I didn't have to take care of everything myself. And I'm just a much happier person today. It's like 24 hours later. So you're going to lead today. All right? You're going to go into a life that you're either ecstatic about or you don't like, or you're not ecstatic about. All right? Because we only have one life. We have one life. Now, you know, I'll tell you a little family joke that I have, right? Because my wife doesn't like to wear makeup. And I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. Because when I'm out talking to youth, a lot of times, and I talk to little girls who are growing up in Cosmo and all that, I'm like, you only have one face. Be careful of things you do to it. You only have one face for the rest of your life. And oh no, I go, and then I do an analogy later on. He's like, picture your face as your life, right? You have to look at it every single day. And the moment you start messing up your face so much where you can't look yourself in the mirror, you start not acknowledging your life. And then you wonder what everybody else is looking at. You only have one life. So when you leave the doors today, I want you to remember this. It's supposed to say the life business, but William Watkins changed it to no. It's the life business. This is the business of your life. Are you going to be ecstatic about your business? Or are you going to be, am I going to die? I want you to think about that. Because I have a feeling just with this training that Brother William Watkins, he's going to blow you off your socks because this seems to be a good lead into what's going on. I want you to remember those things. The thing that you want to get good at, what is it? What is it, right? Because it's the people business. It's the direct sales business. Direct, that means you need directing. If you want to call it the network marketing business, you need a network and you need a market, right? So the next person I bring up is professional. I'll just say, Brother William Watkins, it's been a pleasure to be able to converse with you through the last 3.5 years and learn all that. Because guys, I want you to listen. I want you to take great notes, all right? Take great notes. I'm going to say this every single week now. Take great notes. You'll forget almost everything that you hear today after you leave, right? After you leave, by the end of the day, you're going to forget almost everything. You're like, oh, what did they say? Take these notes down. Not only what we say, but the thoughts you have in conjunction with those notes, so that it matters to your life, all right? Because the next person's going to bring up is going to pour a wealth of knowledge out to you, right? And this knowledge is crucial. Because everything you know right now got you to the point where you are right now, right? This knowledge is going to give you direction on where to go so that you can make this business successful. So everybody stand to your feet. Brother William Watt. All right, come on now.
I'll give it up for Child. I tell you, every time Child speaks, I definitely listen. And I see him been listening to me after all these years as well. But, I just want to start out, you started out with a story, so I just want to share, experience I had the other day. See, I like listening to old school music, right? And I heard this song that just, said like, wow, this is the mindset of a lot of people. Saying that I don't have a car, so I got to ride the bus. On the way home, I got to listen to Gus fuss. The rent is due. My loan didn't come through. Got me a couple of dollars. Guess what I'm going to do? Shake, 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 shake my booty. Now, why it struck me is because that's the mindset of a lot of people. That's the mission that we're on. So if we recognize the mindset of the people, when we hear the word no, we don't get discouraged. We don't take it personally. Because that's the mindset of a lot of people, is that they really aren't conscious about their personal finances. Rather than taking a little bit of money, putting it towards the rent, they'd rather go shake their booty. Or they'd rather go pay a cable bill. Or they'd rather go buy some clothes. Something that's not going to contribute or solve their problem. They'd rather go do that and take a vacation from their reality. Where our job is, and the mission that we're on, is to educate people to help them to come out of bondage. So all of y'all just say along with me, no. No. So get accustomed to hearing no. But as Brother Paulie says, there's another kind of no that you ought to hear rather than N-O, and that's K-N-O-W. That you know that they're not ready or they're the individual that you're looking for. So if you begin to, understand this, then you don't take it personally. Because in order to be an entrepreneur, in order to be successful in life, you have to learn how to overcome that little word no. Because you will hear it so often. And you have to understand that you're not saying no to your future, they're saying no to theirs. But they're just telling you no, that they're not hearing what you're saying at the moment. But if you don't understand that, you begin to take it personally, like, oh, they're rejecting me, they're telling me no. So let's deal with that word no. No! What comes to your mind when you hear the word? Huh? No. Does the feeling of rejection come over you? Do you feel rejected when somebody tells you no? Oh, they're telling me no because of something that has to do with me. Rather than maybe they're just projecting their own thoughts of insecurity, their own thoughts of, not being able to produce and doing what's necessary in order to be successful. People will project onto you their own doubts and disbeliefs. You have to understand that. That's the psyche of human beings. They always want to project where they see that they're short in an area onto somebody else and they don't see it doing no better than them. If you understand that's how people function, then you don't walk around here carrying everybody's burden. You don't walk around here bogged down by other people's doubt and disbelief. That's why we're always talking about your why has to be real to you. I can't tell you how many times I've been rejected, told no, that this isn't going to work, there's nothing but a scam or a scheme. And you know what? I just keep moving forward. I don't focus on them. I met with a young man the other day, and it was like, I'm like, you called me, told me you was ready to sign up. We met. You actually went to the bank, got the money. But then at the last minute, you chose to focus on what isn't going to work rather than what I'm showing you, telling you works. And I was like, wow. When I realized that, I said, you know what? I got to go. Because I knew it was nothing but a waste of time. Why did you have me meet you when you already knew in your mind that you weren't going to do it? I think the fear of him actually departing, with that 150, scared him. Because I'm like, why focus on the negative of what doesn't work? Why not just focus on what does work? Well, I don't need the budget. I already budget myself. Well, why don't you use technology? Because you said you do it manually. Why don't you use technology? Everybody's not like you. Why don't you help other people to be able to better themselves by doing what you're already confessing with your own mouth that you do? So it's not that you're not familiar with these services, but do you currently get paid by doing it the way you're doing it now? No. Well, why don't you help somebody else and you get paid in the process? He said, you know what, I don't want to sound selfish, but I don't want to help nobody else. I need to focus on me. I'm like, you know what? You're not going to become successful in no matter what you do, because you always have to help somebody else. That's how wealth is created, solving solutions for other people. You can't have enough problems, and you don't have enough income in order to become wealthy by yourself. So again, learn to deal with that word. So does the feeling of rejection come? Depending on how well you dealt with no as a child will determine how well you deal with it as an adult. I mean, you may not pout as you did when you were a child, but you may have learned how to deal with it in another way. How do you deal with rejection? How do you deal with no? How did you deal with it as a child? How have you learned as an adult to cope with it? Are you still pouting, but you just can't see it on the face? You use that avoidance tactic, where you avoid, like Child was saying, I didn't want to hear the answer. I mean, his mind didn't even contemplate the positive, his mind just entertained the negative. So therefore, he avoided the confrontation of the phone call because he didn't want to hear rejection. So he didn't pout about it, he just learned how to deal with it another way, it's just to avoid it. Rejection avoidance. Well, I'm not going to talk to them because I already know they're going to tell me nothing. Or, you know what, they're just too busy. They're just too busy. They're already successful, so I don't need to talk to them about my little business. This is not a little business. This is $1 billion business. It ain't nothing little about $1 billion. Only cap that is on this business is the one that you place on it. So remove those barriers in your mind. Don't be afraid to hear no. Don't be afraid to be rejected. My mindset is the more no's I go through, the faster I'm getting to my yeses. See, it's a process. It's a numbers game. Nobody bats 1,000. I mean, even look at it in baseball. Even though I'm not a baseball fan, I just thought came to my mind, so I shared it. Even in baseball, you know, their batting average is not perfect, but they get paid hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, just to bat over what, 400 or 500?
200, 300.
That's a good batting average?
300, yeah.
Isn't that like, you know, 1,000 is perfect, right? Wow. So if they do 20%, 20, 30%, they're successful, right? Even in our business, to do 20, 30%, you're successful. Rejection avoidance, an act or practice of avoiding or withdrawing from something that may cause feelings of rejection. How many of you, be honest with yourselves, use this form, this tactic? I know I used to do it all the time. And it was my way of dealing with my insecurity or fear of speaking in front of people. So then, if I knew that somebody was going to ask me to speak, I would come up already with an excuse. Or I would come up with an excuse why, you know, I'm going to be out of town. I may not have had no plans, but now I got to go out of town. Just so I can avoid the fear of standing in front of people. Now, as a result of me becoming a part of JMG, now the fear is gone away. Now I don't use that tactic. And what I used to have to do is to trick myself. Because what I understood by me doing that, because it didn't feel good, what I understood was that I was limiting my potential. I was limiting my opportunity. Because if I had done that, what could have came as a result of that? So therefore, I was blocking my blessings. So what I learned to do was, as soon as somebody started asking me to do something, I just jump out and say, yes, I'll do it. I may not have wanted to, but I couldn't allow my flesh to, you know, rule and control me. I had to conquer my fear. I had to conquer my flesh. So Brother Paulie, he's good to wait till the last minute to ask you to do something. You know, brother, I need you to speak tomorrow. Oh, okay, no problem. But it's because I've learned to conquer and overcome. That's why I've always said that JMG Net Worth is a platform in which to develop your skills. See, none of us are professional. We're just individuals that made a decision that we want to live a better life. And as a result of that, there's certain things that come along with that. Like Child said this morning. You can't say you want to make more money and you're not willing to improve your skill sets. Because everything that you've learned has equipped you to produce what you have. So therefore, if you want additional, if you want more, you have to improve yourself. You have to increase yourself so that you have the capacity to generate and create the more. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Because otherwise, then you walk around here talking about something that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to work on yourself. Mm-hmm. And that was the key to, you know, the change and turnaround in my JMG business, is that I actually had to reinvent myself. Because Child's right, I didn't like talking to people. Sometimes I still don't like talking to people. But I had to learn how to overcome it. I mean, you meet me, you talk to me. I have an easy personality, but it becomes a chore. I don't want to talk. I didn't want to talk to him. I was sitting there eating. I didn't want to have a conversation. I may or may not have been thinking about work, but my mind was definitely somewhere else. But it's a thing that I had to reinvent myself because we're in the people business. And if I say that I want to be successful in something, and I don't equip myself with the skill set, then I'm lying to myself. I can't lie to myself. So therefore, I had to go to work. I had to read, you know, some new information. I had to listen to the leaders. I had to force myself to begin to open up my mouth and speak to the person at the gas station next to me, the person at the grocery store, person at the coffee shop, wherever. I had to learn how to engage in conversations with other people. And Chad was right. You just don't come off the bat talking about money. You talk about things that are of interest to them. Because people will perceive you as being a salesperson if you come right off the bat trying to sell them on something. So therefore, you have to learn how to engage in conversations with people. The fear of rejection will cause you to remain as is because you know what you are, where you are, but a step out of that comfort zone may cause some feelings of unrest. See, even though you may or other folks may not be where they want to be, they find comfort in the knowledge of knowing at least they know where they're at. It may not be where they want to be, but at least they know what they're going to get. So therefore, the fear of the unknown is a strong fear. And it will cripple you, it will keep you more, it will keep you in the position that you're in if you allow that fear to be greater than what it is that you want on the other side of that fear. See, I wanted to create another opportunity that was going to produce a revenue stream that allowed other people to create wealth as well. So therefore, I had to learn how to conquer that fear of rejection, that fear of speaking to people, that fear of talking in front of a room of individuals. Because what I want on the other side of that fear is greater than that fear. Because I understand that that fear comes to keep me small. But I can't be contained. There's something in me that has to come to life. And so therefore, I said no to the flesh and yes to my future. So therefore, you begin to grow. You begin to expand. You begin to become a magnet for people. Because people want to be around other happy people. Because they want to know why you're so happy. And they want to dump on you their sorrows. I mean, Child was right. I mean, a lot of times people just want to talk about the negative things that's going on in their life. But you don't hear me talk about the negative stuff. Because to me, I count it all on joy. See, I understand that, all things work together for good. That I may be going through a temporary situation, but the key word, temporary. So therefore, I don't focus on the lack. I don't focus on the negative. I'm just focused on the positive because that's the direction I'm going. Because if focusing on the negative won't change it, what's the use of focusing on it, right? The unfamiliar is just that, unfamiliar. Not knowing the next outcome may present itself as uncomfortable for some, Everyone sells one way or another. As parents, we sell our children on the belief system and our values. In the courtship, we sell others to the perspective to be our prospective partner. So we're always selling. At work, we sell ourselves every day to our employers and our co-workers. Again, Child's illustration, that enlightened me on some things that I need to address at my business. That as an employee, you sold your employer that you're able to do all in your job description. Now I need to sit some folks down and redefine it, whether or not they qualify to fulfill what they've been hired to do. But he also said something that was key. You need to train more. Equip the people. Because if not, then you have a lot of dissatisfied, not happy campers that's not producing at their full potential. But are we really equipping them with everything necessary in order to be successful? So that becomes a management, an owner issue. However, there's something keeping us from doing the best job of selling in every situation. It's the fear of rejection. And rejection most often comes in the shape of one of the smallest words in the English language, and that is no. No. You used to say that word, no. I heard a psychologist say that is, when children, when they're just learning the language, that becomes their favorite word. No. Well, maybe because we say it to them so often. But psychologists say that that's a good thing because it teaches them boundaries. As a personality is developed. It's good for them to learn boundaries. No. But, as a parent, you don't want to know. Don't tell me, no, just do as I say. Isn't it amazing how such a small word can have such a huge impact on us? Why are we afraid of this one little word? Our fears began when we were toddlers. We constantly heard the word no from our parents. Grandparents and brothers cared for us. They said it to help direct our actions and learn how to control our emotions. Yet we saw it as something negative because we didn't fully understand the reasons behind it. As a child, I thought as a child. But we're not children any longer. After hearing no enough time, many of us tend to desensitize ourselves to its impact. Others of us continue to take it personal. Those who still take the word as a personal affront have a low threshold for the amount of rejection they can handle. And in business, you have to have a pretty high threshold if you intend to survive these tough times and thrive as we begin to recover. You have to learn how to overcome it. How many folks, not those of you that are here because you're still here, so that's evidence that you can deal with the word no. But how many folks, that you signed up and we tell them 3 people and they went and talked to 3 people and those 3 people told them no and they came back to you and said, well, I can't do this business, it doesn't work for me. Huh? But again, those are the same folks that's riding on the bus, listening to Gus fuss, the rent is due, they ain't got enough money, but hey, since I ain't got enough, I might as well go do my own thing and stay in the same position. But they told you that they wanted more out of life, but they weren't willing to learn a new skill set in order to increase and improve their lot in life. So understand that it's not, directed at you. That no points right back to themselves. But if you don't understand this, you begin to take it personally. And then their shortcomings now become your reality. And so we're here to learn to live a different reality. As instructors, we want to pour into you so that you begin to expand your mindset, so that you begin to expect more, and you begin to receive new information that equips you to be able to change from the inside out. So that now you have the new mindset, the new skill set, that you know what, now I'm qualified to accept it more because I expect more and I have new information that's going to equip me to create more. So therefore, you don't accept other people's opinions. You don't accept their reality as your own reality. You keep plugging away. You stay focused on the end goal. And as a result of that, now there's a change that begins to occur on the inside. And you begin to attract a different caliber of person. Now you expand on your own self to accept or attract those that are like-minded at the same level. Because so long as you keep talking to the same people that's satisfied with riding on the bus, not enough finances in their life, but they're not willing to learn a new skill set, they'll always remain in that same position, no matter what you do. What you have to learn to do is to separate yourself so that you now begin to attract a different group of individuals that actually want more out of life, that has their own car, has their source of income, that are working on something to better themselves. See, if you keep fishing in that same pond and you wonder why you get frustrated because you're fishing in the same pond, there's nothing new in there. It's the same thing. So then what you end up doing, because your avoidance tactic is that you don't feel confident within yourself yet to go fish in a different pond. So you keep fishing in the same pond, getting the same results, and now you get frustrated, wondering why you get the same results. Now you begin to expand on yourselves. Now you begin to get armed and equipped with new information. Now you got a new swag about yourself. You walk differently, you talk differently. Now other people that have been paying attention, but you was afraid to approach them, now see something different in you. So now when you go talk to them, you talk to them and look them square in the eye with boldness and confidence, and they sense something different about you. Now they're ready to listen to you because they value you as a person now. They recognize you and acknowledge you as an equal with them. So now you can talk, and now they begin to listen to what you're saying. But so long as you continue to think small of yourself, they're going to see you as being small. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So let's rethink how we react to the word no. The business situation here, no is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it should be expected in every business situation because you have to get through the no's before you can get to a yes. Start thinking of the word as no as feedback rather than stopping block. With every no, put me think of how you can change direction and try again. The yeses are out there. You just have to run through a maze of no's to find them. It's as simple as that. You know, in high school, I used to, go out and sell encyclopedias, during the summer months. And that's all they told us, that you just got to go through enough no's to get to your yeses. A guy once told me, he said, you'll never be wealthy. Because I was like, you know what? This ain't for me. Drop me off to this community, I don't know where, take me to Omaha, Nebraska, to drop me out. I'm the only black thing out there, and them folks call the police on me. I said, no, this ain't for me. I got other things I need to be focusing on. Well, you'll never be wealthy. You'll never be rich. You got a lottery mentality. No, you got me mistaken for somebody else. I just understand that I'm not making the kind of money you're making, and I want to make your kind of money. So therefore, I need to go do something different. That was always my mindset. Every time I started thinking about how much money somebody making off of me, it just throws me off. Because I figured that, I got the ability to make what you make. So I didn't need to go create my own system so that I'm the boss rather than being an employee. So I never had an employee mindset. I guess I got in the wrong or the right line. So if you allow yourself to start feeling negative about all the no's you're hearing, remember my 5 attitudes towards failure. Never see failure as failure, but only as a learning experience. See, I'm a firm believer that you have to fail your way to success because you have to discover what not to do in order to discover what you need to do. But how many people start something that doesn't happen in the time frame and quit? I never see failure as failure, but only as negative feedback I need to change course in my direction. Number 3, I never see failure as failure, but only as the opportunity to develop my sense of humor. Sometimes you just gotta laugh at stuff. Right? Laugh at people, That young man was sitting there telling me how, he wanted to change his life because he's not working and, his background was, a pretty bad one, prison and all that type of stuff. And I'm sitting like, now, do you think I'm sitting here talking about something that I don't believe is real, that I know is real, and I see the income and its unlimited potential? But you're telling me that you want more out of life, and I'm trying to present you an opportunity to achieve that? And the only thing you want to tell me is that you want to focus on the people that may not do it, or the people may tell you no. Something like, wow, you begin to learn the characteristics of people. And like I've always said, you can't allow their, understanding or lack thereof to become your reality. So you really have to know that this business is for you. You really have to know that this is the opportunity that is going to change your life. So when you're speaking to people, they're really hearing your nonverbals louder than what they're listening to within their mind. Your nonverbals are saying, I'm confident, I know this is real, I know this works. Because they're looking for something better than what they have, but they're not going to move if they don't sense it. Number 4, I never see failure as failure, but only as an opportunity to practice my techniques and perfect my performance. So that was a learning lesson for me with dealing with that young man. So I sat back and I had to reevaluate. Did I say something that gave him the wrong impression? I think it was when I told him actually I was going to sow the seed and get him going. Because my heart goes out for individuals that actually, used to hustle, sell drugs, and went to prison, and now they're looking for a new opportunity. So I'm saying, you know what? I understand the reality is that if you don't produce something that brings you a large income that you're accustomed to earning, it's just a matter of time before you go back that same route. So I'm saying, you know what? I want to sow a seed because that's why I'm in the business I am with my treatment program. Even though I told him I was going to sow the seed, he still went to the bank. And I'm saying, like, well, you're not listening to me? So I'm paying attention to all of this. And then at the end, when I saw that, he really wasn't getting it, I said, well, you can't see the power of 60 cents and how powerful that is. And I gave the illustration of 60 cents doubling for 30 days. And I said, that's over 300 million. And what he focused on is I'm going to make it 60 cents a person. I said, okay. Now I can't give that much information because people get stuck. Yeah. They're looking for the excuse to say no. And I said, wow. I said 300 million. You focused on the little rather than the much. So it was a learning experience. Number 5, I never see failure as failure, but only as the game that I must play to win. We're here to win, right? That's right. Mm-hmm. So therefore, you're only a failure if you quit. It's a matter of going through the process because all it takes is one Paul Jones. All it takes is one Chale. All it takes is one Marquise Williams. All it takes is one right individual before your business turns around and blows up. Paul Jones always tells the story about the person that signed him up, quit before his business blew up. Then try to come back and sue the company to regain his position. All that money he missed out on. See, once you start something, just stay with it. It's a law. It will eventually produce. You just have to stay at it and be in a position that when it does bear fruit, that you're in a position to receive the harvest. So stop taking no personal. Learn to love it instead. It's just a detour sign, not a dead end. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Want everybody just take a quick break. You gotta go to the restroom, get you some water or something. I got a part 2, okay? Y'all want to take a short break or you want me to keep going? Okay. Those online, take a 2-minute break and come right back.
Really? I say a prayer for all you stupid people every day.
I say before I get to the door.
Right. Yeah.
That's not. Well, that's on the
It could be fun.
Well, it's still fun to me.
It is?
It's still fun.
Okay. You still got control.
Yeah.
But it's people that's having a problem.
I just have a problem.
Well, they didn't learn their skill.
Oh, okay.
That's all those people. This is like I heard you say, and I tell people that all the time. I never had no problem with those kids. They just weren't trained right.
Well, it's not whether or not they were trained. Yeah, because I want to develop people's patience. If they can't develop a relationship with a kid, it's just, and the kid consistent, you ain't got to keep back.
That's what I call training.
But
See, you
I know it's not a thing.
Yeah, but you have to have a feel for it,
Yeah, you do.
and then you get the skills,
So,
you know,
so,
and
that's
it gets,
my call.
yeah, right,
My call.
that's what I'm saying.
You know, I was working in corporate America,
Mhm.
and I can perform the work in corporate America, but it wasn't my calling.
Right,
My calling was to go back into the school system. And I went back into the school system, like I went from corporate America. Did the job, did it well, did on the front, got promoted, but that wasn't me.
yeah, it just don't feel good.
It just didn't feel,
Right,
it was my calling. My calling was into the school system, why did that?
yeah, and people used to ask me, well, how do you do it? You know, I said, I don't know how I do it. I just will walk up to a group of kids and all of a sudden they turn their attention to me and I got it, you know,
It's all it takes,
yeah,
showing that you care and showing that you show interest.
right. Well, they sense that,
And I had teachers to get mad
right,
at me because I developed a relationship. They would listen to me more than me.
right.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started again.
Oh, that was fine.
I said 2 minutes.
You're right. I'm ready. We're two. So yeah, you know, I used to look at them and say, you know, develop it, you know, get to know them. Ain't my problem, you don't know them.
Look at a kid and say, you know what.
Y'all ready to begin again online?
You need to hit your computer again.
No, just time out. All right, so let's go on to part 2 here. Open the gate. Let's go to the scripture. You know, I like to use scripture, 2 Kings 7, 1-20. Elijah said, listen, God's word, the famine's over. This time tomorrow, food will be plentiful, a handful of meal for a shekel, 2 handfuls of grain for a shekel. The market at the city gate will be buzzing. The attendant on whom the king leaned for support said to the holy man, you expect us to believe that? Trap doors opening in the sky and food tumbling out. So the man of God said, it's going to turn around. It's going to change. It's going to be buzzing. It's going to be plentiful. The naysayers, the doubters, disbelieved. He said he was skeptical. Is that a scam? Is that a scheme? Familiar conversation. You'll watch it with your own eyes, he said, but you will not eat so much as a mouthful. It happened that 4 lepers, and I love this story. 4 lepers were sitting just outside the city gate. They said to one another, what are we doing sitting here at death's door? If we enter the famine-struck city, we'll die. If we stay here, we'll die. So let's take our chances in the camp of Aram and throw ourselves on their mercy. That sounds like a lot of people we deal with. You know, if they do nothing, they don't stay exactly where they're at.
Right.
If not, worse. But at least if they step out on faith, they have a chance of turning this situation around.
Right.
Now, we're not talking about investing an arm and a leg, but at the possibility of starting your own business for only $149.95. At least the worst is that you'll better yourself personally financially. But what if you just take the chance and do step 1 and step 2? At least now they position themselves for the increase. If they receive us, we'll live. If they kill us, we'll die. We got nothing to lose. If it works, we'll increase. If it don't work, wonder how much I got to lose. We ain't saying invest thousands of dollars, not even $500. But if they do step 1 and step 2, they got the money right back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after the sun went down, they got up and went to the camp of Aram. When they got to the edge of the camp, surprise, not a man in the camp. The master had made the army of Aram hear the sound of horses and a mighty army on the march. They told one another, the king of Israel hired the kings of the Hittites and the kings of Egypt to attack us. Panicked, they ran for their lives through the darkness, abandoning tents, horses, donkeys, the whole camp just as it was, running for dear life. They sat there at the gate, contemplated. But the way was already prepared. All they needed to do was step through the gate. How many of you has had your future already prepared, but because of fear, you are afraid to step through the gate? This business is an opportunity which represents that gate. You have to step through. How many folks have you contacted, communicated with, tried to get involved that need this opportunity, but because of fear, disbelief, remain at the gate door, never to discover that it was already prepared? I mean, I showed the illustration over and over again. It's no trick that if folks just follow the plan, you should have been done with your system. And not only should have been done, but you should have been making so much money, and they would have been making so much money now that we all be sitting on our own islands, enjoying life, sipping on virgin pina coladas. I mean, week 1, week 2, all the way through week 7. If folks just listen, they pay the $150, they get the $150 back in a week later. They keep building. They pay $29.95 a month, but if they just follow the instructions, they'll never have to pay out of pocket again. In fact, they'll earn a nice lifestyle, income, that will produce them a nice lifestyle. It's just that simple. It's not rocket science. It's just that simple if we just talk to the right people. And what I'm saying is that when you remain consistent, it's a matter of time before you run into the right person. But do you see the simplicity of our system? Mm-hmm. It's just getting people to open up their mind to believe that all they need to do is step through that gate. All they need to do is make the first step. The rest is already prepared. So these 4 lepers entered the camp and went into a tent. First they ate and drank. Then they grabbed silver, gold, and clothing and went off and hid it. See, they were like, somebody coming back here. This just ain't sitting here for free. They came back, entered another tent. Can you just imagine them? You know, they ran into one tent, they looking around, and they went and hid this stuff, and they said, well, let's go back. Nobody got us that first time. Let's try it again. So they looted again and hide their plunder. Finally, they said one to another, we got enough. Let's not be greedy. We shouldn't be doing this. This is a day of good news, and we're making it into a private party. We're in JMG Network. This is not a private party. We have to share the good news. If we wait around until morning, we'll get caught and punished. Come on, let's go tell the news to the king's palace. So they went and called out at the city gate, telling what had happened. We went to the camp of Aram and surprised. The place was deserted. Not a soul, not a sound. Horses and donkeys left tethered and tents abandoned, just as they were. The gatekeepers got the word to the royal palace, giving them the whole story. Roused in the middle of the night, the king told his servant, let me tell you what Aram has done. They knew that they were starving, so they left the camp and had hid in the field thinking. See, these are the doubters. When they come out of the city, we'll capture them alive and take the city. One of his advisors answered, let some men go and take 5 of the horses left behind. The worst that can happen is no worse than what could happen to the whole city. Let's send them and find out what's happened. They took 2 chariots with horses. The king sent them after the army of Aram with the orders, scout them out, find out what happened. We're scouts, y'all. We're spying out the land to make sure that it's all good. Now we got to take the report back to everybody else. Like Child was saying, talk to people. You know, the other day I was approached by another company. They was all excited. I knew what they were trying to pitch me on. I'm like, wow, they didn't know me. They just saw me. They saw the car I was riding in. They just saw me and presented themselves and tried to invite me to one of their meetings. And I'm sitting like, wow, are we out there doing that? You know, talking to people with confidence. They was excited. They believed in what they was telling me. You know, I just know that we got a better way and a simpler way, and it didn't cost as much. But I was impressed at the fact that they had confidence and was excited about their business, and they were happy to share with me. So they went after them all the way to the Jordan. The whole way was through with clothes and equipment that Aram had dumped in their panicked flight. The scouts came back and reported to the king. The people then looted the camp of Aram. Food prices dropped overnight. A handful of meal for a shekel. 2 handfuls of grain for a shekel. God's word to the left. The king ordered his attendant, the one he leaned on for support, to be in charge of the city gate. The people turned into a mob, poured through the gate, trampling him to death. It was exactly what the holy man said when the king had come to see him. Every word of the holy man to the king, a handful of meal for a shekel, 2 handfuls of grain for a shekel, this time tomorrow in the gate of Samaria. With the attendant's sarcastic reply to the holy man, you expect us to believe that? It's amazing. There's a Cadillac Escalade out there, and I'm talking to this guy, yes, about making 60 cents per person, but that's an $80,000 car. Do you think if it wasn't real, if the power of 60 cents a person, you know, wasn't powerful, that it would produce these type of results? Come on. So I'm saying that around this time tomorrow, it's going to change. Now it's up to us to believe and then take the corresponding action, the work, to make it a reality. Because others may partake of it, but don't be guilty like this one, the naysayer, the doubt. Right now, we're scouting it out. You've been empowered to be in a position to go before the masses so that we're the ones to bring the story back to everybody else. So that as the prices drop in terms of now people are starting to see the value of it, see the power of it, and as people start flooding into this business, they have to come in through our organizations. So therefore, just focus on preparing yourselves, because you have to become the leaders. You have to be the ones doing the Tuesday presentations, the trainings, you know, as we're traveling the country. So embrace it. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Because by embracing it, now you prepare yourself. Isn't that right, Brother Fred? And we were just talking about preparing yourself. Because you've been empowered to be in this position. All right? So be excited. Be thankful. Because if you weren't, then you wouldn't be here. But because you're here, you've been selected out. Now it's just a matter of allowing yourself to be a vessel to be used so that you can receive the benefits along the way of the journey. So trapdoors open in the sky, boom, tumbling out, followed by the response. You'll watch it with your own eyes, but you won't eat so much as a mouthful. Prove true. The final stroke came when the people trampled the man to death at the city gate. Don't you sit at the gate of opportunity and do nothing while others are waiting on you to make a decision to move. What do you have to lose? If you go back, nothing will change. If you stand still, nothing changes. But unlimited possibilities are ahead of your decision to move. Open your gate to your future. So again, I just want to stress the value and the power that you have within yourself and within your reaches. It's just a matter of you recognizing it, embracing it. Don't get discouraged. Stay excited. And the key to staying excited is that you stay focused on your prize. You stay focused on why it is that you're doing this business. So when I hear no, I'm not hearing the no. I'm still focused on my business. Regardless if they say yes or no, I'm still moving forward. Because I understand that a yes may not be the yes I'm looking for. They may be individuals sign up and then they fizzle out. So therefore, it's always consistent, always the same. Because my vision and my goal never changes. People may come and go, but my vision never changes. So stay focused on your vision, know your vision, and stay connected. Make sure that you're passing down the information to your downline, whether they're active or not. You know, you still reach down to them. They're right, Sister Berkeley.
Yes.
You still show them love, still keep them connected with the information, and you never know when they'll make the decision to come back. So make sure that you invite your people out to Tuesday presentation. We got some folks that are coming. You know, we got a group that is growing. But if we just get everybody connected, you know, the new and the old, I mean, we'll have a room packed full of people. Then the business actually becomes easier. Because when people see a packed room, they see excitement and people are happy about whatever it is that they're talking about because they don't have the information yet. Makes them have a sense of urgency that now I want to become a part of this team. Because they're doing something that they seem to be excited about. It must be working because look at how many people. But if we have, you know, inconsistent, you know, a few people this week, a few people next week, so when guests come, they look and say, well, I'm new, where's everybody else at? You know, so whether you have a guest or not, support the meetings because that helps everybody else because you may have a guest and somebody else may not have a guest, but because we're supporting the meeting, they'll come regardless, and so it'll help you to, you know, be able to, you know, enlighten and share the opportunity with your guests. So don't feel as though just because you don't have a caller on the line that you don't need to get on the call, that you don't have a guest coming out that you don't need to go to the meeting. We support one another because we're business partners, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And make sure that when you're at the meetings that you're not talking about, you know, negative stuff. You know, that you're talking about positive things because the worst is to bring in some negatives, some doubts. You know, you're there, and if they ask you a question, you know, and you're saying, well, I've been in this business and it ain't working for me, they're new. Okay? So there's just certain business etiquette that we have that we follow. And, you know, so therefore, the focus is to grow and support one another. So make sure you get your guests out this week, and let's have fun. You know, next couple of weeks I'm going to announce a new promotion that I'm going to do for the group because I really want to increase the number of people that go on the vacation. So therefore, you know, get prepared, get some folks in position so that you can take advantage of this promotion. All right? All y'all be blessed.
William,
Yes, ma'am.
can I get the number to the 24-hour hotline?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.